Mom said we're canceling Halloween this year. Too expensive, she told me. Don't send money, don't bring the kids. So I didn't. I tossed the candy list aside, told Ethan and Lily Grandma needed rest. But 2 days later, my phone buzzed a bank alert from the credit card I'd co-signed for my parents. 6 flight tickets. First class. Destination Arizona. The names Mom, Dad Tom, his wife, their kids. Not mine. I froze, staring at the screen, my reflection warped in the glass. For a second, I thought it had to be a scam. But it wasn't. They hadn't canceled Halloween, just us. I grew up believing my parents were good people. The kind who'd drop off casseroles for neighbors, smile at church, send polite Christmas cards. But being their daughter came with a different kind of charity, one that always flowed one way. I paid for the little things, a new roof, the property tax, that emergency water heater. They always promised to pay me back. They never did. And I never asked, because that's what good daughters do, right? They help. This year, I wanted Halloween to be special again. The kids were finally old enough to remember it. Ethan had his heart set on dressing as a vampire. Lily wanted to be a fairy. For years, we'd spent the holiday at my parents' place, handing out candy to trick-or-treaters, eating my mom's pumpkin bread. It was the one tradition that still made me feel like part of a family instead of an ATM. When Mom called to cancel, her tone was almost casual. It's just too much this year, Joy. The economy, you know, we're all tightening our belts. I pictured her sitting at the kitchen counter, stirring her coffee with that tiny silver spoon I'd bought her last Mother's Day. I offered to cover it like always, but she shut it down fast, too fast. No, honey, don't. You've done enough. Something in her voice made me pause. It wasn't gratitude. It was something closer to guilt, thinly wrapped in politeness. But I brushed it off. People get weird about money, especially parents. That night, I took down the orange lights we'd hung on our balcony and folded the kids' costumes back into the closet. Grandma's tired this year, I told them. Ethan nodded like an adult, but Lily's little face fell. So no candy at Grandma's, she whispered. I smiled through the lump in my throat. We'll still make it fun at home. 2 days later, the alert from the bank popped up on my phone while I was packing lunches. Transaction approved. Airline purchase, $4,872. I blinked. My stomach turned. That card was only for my parents' expenses. Groceries, gas prescriptions. I opened the statement. 6 tickets, round trip, Portland to Phoenix. The passengers' names glared back at me like a joke I wasn't invited to understand. Mom, Dad, Tom, Diane. Their kids. I scrolled again, double-checking, half expecting to find my own name somewhere, maybe a mistake. Nothing. I refreshed the page, hoping it would disappear like it was a glitch. It didn't. I laughed the kind of laugh that comes out sharp and empty. My parents weren't saving money, they were spending mine. On a family trip that didn't include me or my children. At first, I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe Tom had planned a surprise and charged it accidentally. Maybe Mom forgot to tell me they'd invited us too. So I called. She answered on the 3rd ring, her voice sugar-sweet. Hi, sweetheart. Everything okay? I tried to keep mine steady. Yeah, just got an alert from the bank. It says there was a flight purchase. She cut me off before I could finish. Oh, that. Yes, your father booked something last minute. We haven't traveled in ages. You know how stressful things have been. I stared at the ceiling. With Tom and his family, a pause. Then softly, well, yes. He's been under a lot of pressure. Diane thought the kids could use a little sunshine. So you canceled Halloween to go on vacation. Don't be dramatic, she said, her tone shifting. It's just a few days, Joy, and we needed to use the card for the points. The card for the points. My name, my guarantee, my monthly payments reduced to points. I didn't say anything for a long time. My silence made her uneasy. We'll pay you back, she added quickly. You know we always do. I almost laughed. They never did. When I hung up, the quiet in my apartment was so loud it felt physical. Ethan was coloring at the table, humming to himself. Lily was taping paper bats to the window. They were still so excited for a holiday their grandparents had erased. I opened my laptop and pulled up the credit account. Hotel confirmation, SUV rental, dinner reservations. Thousands of dollars stacked up like proof of betrayal. Every charge time-stamped. Every receipt addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Harris. At work the next day, I told Casey. She swore under her breath, "You're kidding." After all the bills you've covered for them, I shrugged. I guess family loyalty has an expiration date. She leaned back, studying me. You could freeze the card, you know. I can't. They'd be stuck out there. Joy, she said quietly, that's not your emergency. It's theirs. Her words followed me home like a ghost. That evening, I got a message from Mom, a photo of a sunset over red rocks. Isn't it beautiful here? Tom finally seems relaxed. There was a tiny heart emoji at the end, as if that made it softer. Then a second photo, my father smiling, drink in hand, my brother beside him, in matching Hawaiian shirts. My mother had posted it publicly, tagged everyone but me. The caption read, "Family time, we all needed." That was the moment it stopped being about money. I wasn't angry because they used my credit. I was angry because they used me, my stability, my silence, my endless forgiveness. That night, I sat at my desk scrolling through the transactions again, but this time with purpose. Every number told a story. Every payment was leverage. By Friday, the Arizona charges had doubled. Room service, spa treatments, another dinner reservation at a 5-star restaurant. Each transaction felt like a bruise I couldn't cover. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop open, the glow turning the room into a quiet battlefield. For years, I'd handled other people's budgets, solved other people's messes. It was second nature to fix things. But this time, I didn't want to fix anything. I wanted them to feel it. I opened the account settings and hovered over the freeze card option. My finger trembled. Then I stopped. Not yet. Not like this. Saturday morning, Casey called. "You look like someone who hasn't blinked in 12 hours. I've been doing math," I said flatly. The emotional kind or the financial kind? Both. I told her everything. The fake cancellation, the vacation, the silence that followed. She didn't interrupt once. When I finished, she said, "You know what they count on, right? That you'll keep being decent." Her words hit like truth disguised as advice. That evening, I FaceTimed my parents. They were sitting on a balcony, golden light behind them, drinks in hand. I caught my brother's laughter in the background. "Hey, Mom," I said. "How's the trip?" "Oh, it's lovely, honey. You'd love it here." "I bet." "So quick question. Did you know the card you used is under my name?" Her smile faltered. "Well, yes, but you said it was fine for family expenses." "Family," I repeated. "Right, just wasn't sure if that still included me." She laughed nervously. "Joy, please. You're overreacting. It's just money." "Exactly," I said. "It's just money. You won't miss it." I hung up before she could answer. After putting the kids to bed, I made tea, sat back at the table, and logged into the account one more time. My heartbeat was steady, calm, almost detached. I drafted 2 short emails, one to the bank requesting immediate cancellation of all supplementary cards, and another confirming that I would no longer serve as guarantor on the account. Then I waited. By Sunday morning, the first text arrived from Mom, honey. Something's wrong with the card. Hotel says it's declined. Can you check? I didn't reply. A second one came an hour later. Please call me. We're at the front desk. Still nothing. For the first time in years, I wasn't fixing their chaos. I was letting them live in it. By the time my phone started vibrating non-stop that Sunday afternoon, the house was quiet. Ethan and Lily were carving pumpkins on the balcony, the scent of cinnamon candles floating through the air. I let the phone buzz on the counter, call after call, name after name, until it finally stopped. Then came the knock. It was almost 5 p.m. when I opened the door. My parents stood there sunburned and exhausted, their luggage in the hallway behind them. Tom and Diane hovered a few steps back, both of them avoiding my eyes. Finally, Mom said, pushing past me into the living room, "We've been trying to reach you all day. Do you have any idea what we just went through?" I leaned against the doorway. "Enlighten me." "The bank froze the card. We couldn't check out of the resort. Your father had to call his friend to book emergency flights home. It was humiliating." I folded my arms. "Imagine that." She blinked. "Joy, this isn't funny. They said you canceled everything." I did. The silence that followed was thick enough to touch. Dad stepped forward, face flushed. "You can't just pull something like that without warning. We were stranded out there. You mean..." I said evenly on a trip I didn't know existed until I saw it on my statement. Tom finally spoke, his voice low and defensive. It wasn't your business what Mom and Dad did with their vacation. Except they did it on my credit. Diane cleared her throat, pretending to play peacemaker. I think this is just a misunderstanding. Your mom thought I cut her off. My mom thought she could lie. She thought she could cancel Halloween for my kids, take the money I used to support them, and spend it on margaritas in Arizona. Mom's face tightened. Don't twist it like that. We just needed a break. Then you should have taken one, I said softly, with your own money. Dad's voice rose. You're being ungrateful, Joy. After everything we've done for you. That word ungrateful hit like static in my head. Years of dinners, bills, and favors replayed in a flash. The roof repair, the medical copays, the time I bailed Tom out of debt because Dad said it would keep peace in the family. I took a breath. You've done a lot for me, sure. Like teaching me that family can take advantage of you and still expect a thank you. Watch your tone, Dad snapped. I smiled thinly. I am, for once. Mom's voice cracked. We didn't mean to hurt you. I almost believed her, almost. But then I remembered the photos, the matching Hawaiian shirts, the post about family time we all needed. Mom, I said, when you told me to skip Halloween because it was too expensive, did you already have the flights booked? She hesitated, then looked down. That was all the answer I needed. You could have just said you didn't want us there, I continued. Would have been cheaper. Don't talk like that in front of your brother, she whispered. Tom shifted awkwardly. Look, Joy, maybe it wasn't handled right, but locking the cards, come on. That was overkill. I met his eyes. So was lying. He didn't reply. From the hallway, Lily's laugh floated in light unbothered. Ethan followed, holding up his pumpkin. Mom, can I show Grandma? Mom turned toward him, maybe hoping a smile could smooth everything over. Of course, sweetheart. I stepped in front of her. No. The word hung there, heavy and final. You don't get to smile at them after what you did. You told me not to bring my kids because they were too much. Then you used my credit to take Tom's kids on vacation. You didn't just lie to me, you lied to them. Her mouth opened, then closed again. For once, she had nothing to say. Dad rubbed his temples. What do you want from us? An apology? No, I said. Accountability. I walked over to the counter, picked up a stack of papers I'd printed that morning. Bank statements, confirmation emails, every charge linked to that trip. I handed them to him. You'll find your signatures here. Every transaction. I'm closing this account and the debt is yours now. The bank already approved the transfer. Mom paled. You wouldn't, I already did. Tom muttered something under his breath. Diane grabbed his arm, warning him to stop. I'm done being your safety net, I said quietly. From now on, if you want to travel, you'll need to earn it. Like I did. Dad looked like he wanted to argue but couldn't find the words. Mom's eyes glistened. You're punishing us. No, I said. I'm freeing myself. Behind me, Lily tugged at my sleeve. Mom, are we still carving pumpkins? I smiled at her. Yeah, baby, we are. When I turned back, my parents were already at the door gathering their things. Tom mumbled a goodbye. Diane avoided my gaze entirely. As the door clicked shut, the apartment fell into a peaceful kind of quiet, the kind I hadn't felt in years. I exhaled slowly, a weight lifting that I hadn't realized I was carrying. Later that night, while my kids laughed and passed out candy to trick-or-treaters, I got one last text from my mother. We got home. I hope you're happy. I typed back. For the first time, I am. That night, after the door shut behind them, the apartment felt different, lighter somehow. The same walls, the same furniture, but no guilt hanging in the corners. Just me, the kids, and the sound of their laughter echoing down the hallway. Ethan handed me a lopsided pumpkin with triangle eyes. We did it ourselves, he said proudly. Lily smeared frosting on my cheek as she decorated cookies. The air smelled like cinnamon sugar and peace. For once, I wasn't financing someone else's happiness, I was living mine. When the kids went to bed, I sat on the couch with my laptop open. I canceled every automatic payment I'd ever set for my parents' utilities insurance, their emergency fund. My hands didn't shake. I felt steady, free. A week later, an envelope came in the mail. Inside was a check from my father for part of the resort bill and a note in my mother's handwriting. We didn't realize how much we relied on you. We'll figure things out from now on. No apology. But it was enough. I tucked the letter away and looked at my kids' pumpkins on the windowsill. The candlelight flickered against the glass, glowing like small, stubborn hearts. Maybe that's what change looked like, not loud, not perfect, just honest. I poured myself a cup of tea, smiled at the quiet, and whispered to no one in particular, "Happy Halloween." I learned something that night. Love without respect isn't love at all. It's debt disguised as devotion. For years, I thought keeping the peace meant paying the price. Turns out, peace comes when you stop buying your place in the family. This Halloween, my kids will remember laughter, not rejection. And I'll remember the moment I chose self-respect over silence. If you've ever been the one who gives until there's nothing left, maybe it's your turn to stop fixing everything. Share your story in the comments and hit subscribe for more true stories of betrayal, justice, and strength.